So this one is for all the guys out there that think that a girls' night out is totally okay, safe, and normal. It's actually quite scary. I've got a video here I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to add some context to it, and also provide some solutions towards the end for you guys that need to deal with these problems on a go-forward basis. But girls' nights out are not what you think they are. Let me play this video. It's from a guy from the nightclub industry, and then we'll have a chat about it.
Do you still trust women after working in nightlife for 20 years?
You know, obviously, you see a lot of cheating. I remember a girl was on a girls' night out in the bar, and she basically, her friends left and she got talking to a guy. Obviously, she had the wedding ring on. The guy is actually somebody I know very well. All her friends leave. She says she wants to stay. One of the friends kind of lingers for a little while, trying to get her to leave, and knows what's about to go down. The girl just shoos her away. She ends up leaving. So now it's just her and him. Obviously, we're walking, you know, we know where this is going to end up. So he's looking at me going, yo, she's married, she's married. I'm like, dude, I don't want to part of this, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't really know the girl. Anyway, she gets on the phone and she's right near me at the end of the bar, and she calls her husband. Hey babe, Stacy's vomiting and stuff. I'm going to stay with her and look after her. And so I'm going to be home late, or I might just sleep at Stacy's house, you know, depending on how she looks. I don't know who Stacy is, but she sure ain't in the bar at this point, right?
Oh my God.
Right. So fast forward a few hours, you see them making out and the whole nine. They disappear. I believe dumpsters were involved, right? Yes.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Well, they disappeared. It's a hidden spot, you know. He comes back in. He's like, Rishi, I'm out. And I'm like, daps me up, leaves. I'm like, dude. She comes in 3 minutes later, just adjusting herself, calls her husband, has him pick her up at the bar, comes in, and she's introducing him to people like nothing happened. And I'm just like, I'm scarred. I'm scarred for life. Beyond.
Right. So girls' night out, you know, you still think they're a good idea to let your wife or girlfriend hang out with their girlfriends, go away for a girls' trip, go to Vegas, go to Cancun, Ibiza, whatever it happens to be. You know, it's often sold as it's a harmless night out with the girls. And, you know, I think that can be true if, you know, it's something like, I'm going out with the girls, we're going to do a book club, and, you know, we're going to hang out at the lake house for the weekend, and, you know, it's in the middle of nowhere, and it's a totally safe and innocent sort of thing. Fine. I think for certain situations, it might be ideal, but when you hear stuff like, we're going downtown, we're going to Nashville, we're going to Vegas, we're going to spring bike week, whatever it happens to be, this is where problems usually arise. And you'd be surprised how many times I've heard stories like what you just heard over here from the guy that worked in a nightclub industry, from people that are bartends, wait staff, kitchen staff, doormen. It's more common than you think. There's also the notion of the 3-step rocket. I'll put a card up in the top right of your screen over there, which you might want to check out later, which is from a police officer who gave me the full details on how women use false rape accusations to get out of cheating on their boyfriends or husband. Definitely watch that afterwards. I'm not going to spend too much time on this video talking about that, but that's also another commonality that you're going to see from time to time. So how often does it happen? Enough that it's a problem. Enough that I think that if a woman truly loves you and is committed to the relationship and what you're building together, she's not going to put it at risk. She's not going to want to do something that's going to be putting your relationship, her commitment to you, in a risky type of situation. You start adding a little bit of darkness in the nightclub, a little bit of alcohol, maybe some drugs. Who knows if something gets spiked or not, if somebody drops something else that they go to the bathroom to take. You just don't know. And, you know, there's always this notion of what happens it usually starts with, well, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But, you know, in situations like this, you know, you hear the girls come up with some story like what happens in the nightclub or in Nashville or whatever stays there. Well, I'm here to tell you guys, this is how you want to handle stuff like this going forward. I got to take it really easy on the roads today. As you can see, it's a bit of a snowstorm here in the greater Toronto area, but let's carry on. So she wants to go out to nightclubs. Now, this is something that is ideally handled early on in the dating phase. When she starts to come at you with things like, hey, what are we? Where is this going? I'd like to claim you. I don't want to share you. I only like to date one person at one time, blah, blah, blah. You've heard some version of that. Cool. If she's the kind of gal that likes to go out with her girls and do girls' nights, that's your opportunity. I mean, if you like this gal and you want to invite her into your life on a longer term basis or even a committed type of basis, that you got to tell her, look, I just don't take women seriously. You know, I like you too, but I just don't take women seriously that go out and have girls' nights out. Oh, why are you so controlling? Why are you so insecure? You usually get some version of that. It's got nothing to do with controlling or insecurity. It's got everything to do with commitment. I just can't take you seriously. Like, I can't look after you. I can't commit to you. I'm not going to be interested in taking you out on dates and traveling with you if you're the kind of woman that likes to behave single. If that's your thing, carry on. Now, you might be in a relationship already and you're starting to realize the problem that this might, be. You may have heard stories about a gal that you're with, whether it's your girlfriend or wife, saying, I went away to Cancun for Stacy's birthday, and, Becky had the hotel karaoke guy plow her behind the bar or something like that, right? But I didn't, get involved. That's just dirty. It doesn't matter. Birds of a feather flock together. I trust the locks on my car, but I'm not going to park my car in a shitty neighborhood overnight, because the probability of something happening to it is considerably greater than if the car is locked up in my garage. I know it's safe there, right? And I think that if a woman really, truly loves a man with all of her heart and doesn't want to expose the relationship to any kind of risk, she's not going to be asking questions like, hey, is it okay if I go to, Kathy's birthday party in Miami for the weekend or something like that? You just tell her, look, if that's something that you like to do, go do it, but the locks will be changed and your crap will be on the front porch when you come back, and that's just the way that it is. Some people will push back and say, well, you can't do it either if you're a man. Well, it's totally different for men and women. Like, the way that it's very easy for women to step out in a relationship, if we're being honest. Even a very average, a 4 out of 10 gal can step out during a committed relationship while on a girls' trip. Is very easy for them to do. We've all seen it. If you've been out in the nightclub scene or been out traveling, you go to the popular party places, sort of thing like that. Everybody has seen it at some point in life. So you're a bit of a muppet, if I'm being honest, if you allow a woman that's committed to you to do that. You're the man. You're supposed to lead. She actually expects you to lead. I mean, you got to plan the dates. You generally pay for the dates. You treat her like a lady. Well, a lady should behave like a lady in a relationship. A lady shouldn't be going out partying with her girlfriends on a regular basis with her gals. Sometimes it's something like, well, it's dinner and then they go out afterwards, sort of thing. If she wants to hang out with her friends and have dinner, go. Good, have dinner. But come back after dinner, right? You shouldn't be going out to nightclubs, staying out till the wee hours of the night and ending up in situations like this. I mean, you certainly don't want to be the guy or the husband that drives over to pick her up at the nightclub in the middle of the night after she's just been plowed behind the dumpster in the dark alleyway, because it's something that she wanted to get for herself. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about the competition that happens out there when women are out and about having their fun, there's a very interesting book called Sperm Wars. I'm going to warn you in advance. It's going to blackpill you a little bit. So be incredibly careful when you read this book. Take your time going through it. But it is going to divulge to you all of the ways in really, really accurate storytelling and science-backed data, that women can step out and do step out. So you need to be incredibly careful, guys. It's not controlling. It's not insecure. It's just caring for what matters to you in a long-term relationship. And if you do give a damn about her, if you want her around, if she's a mother of your kids, you plan on being committed to her and raising a family, there should be no space or time in that. I do this podcast where we have these gals on. It's called Ladies Night. I'll put a card up for that as well. You should probably subscribe to that channel. It's live every Tuesday night. And I think one of the things that comes up often during the show is a lot of the modern progressive gay women, if I can put it that way, like to talk about how they like to do ladies' night out and girls' night out, and it's totally safe and there's nothing wrong with it. And they're wrong. In some cases, there may be nothing wrong with it. But again, like I said, if you value her and she values you, it shouldn't even be contemplated. It shouldn't even be something that comes up for consideration in a long-term relationship. It's just not how things should be. This is a modern day thing, but for, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years, women that were committed to a man stayed committed to a man. They didn't want to step out on him. I mean, a woman's nature is hypergamous. They want to lock down the best guy that they can get. And what she is telling you, without spelling out the words for you, if she likes to go out on girls' nights out often, is she doesn't see you as her best option and that she wants to go out and entertain other options. Think about it for a sec, boys. What's involved with her going out with her girlfriends? Hours of getting ready, cleaning up, curling her hair, push-up bras, high heels, stockings, all that good stuff. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Women do step out and they do cheat in those circumstances, and it's more common than you think. So do not be a plugged in beta male and allow nonsense like this in your life. It's an area, a realm that you have to put your foot down and manage properly so you don't expose yourself to risk. I mean, the last thing you want to do, guys, is get yourself in a situation where you're raising a child that's not yours because she decided to step out on you while she was out one night with her girlfriends. Oopsie. Be careful, guys. This is how you handle this thing. Pinned in the top comment, there's a bunch of useful links. Check them out. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the Courses tab. Newer to the channel? Hit subscribe.